happens shortly after.
Just other things which Messi scored his 400th La Liga goal to become the first player
of the season.
of the season. Ronaldo had 409 in Spain, so he's done it in one league. He's the first player to do it in one.
Okay.
European player to do it in one of the top leagues. And
he scored over 500 goals, hasn't he, in all competitions?
Probably, yeah. But this was the 13th of January, so you'd expect he'd have probably scored another 100 goals. Yeah. I think that was just in a league, potentially.
I remember hearing that stat, and because Wolves' record goal scorer is Steve Bull with 306 goals.
Yeah.
That's in all competitions.
Yeah.
And that was when we were in Division 4 and 3, and then the Championship. And then you hear somebody scored 200 more goals than that. It's quite impressive.
Quite impressive.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on, just because we've got another 11 months to get through. So in February, I'll just look at these questions. So I'm not going to... So the Super Bowl was won by the New England Patriots. I'm not going to ask that question, so I'll just put that in there.
I might have guessed that, actually.
You probably would have... No, the question was, who did they beat?
Oh.
So yeah, it was. Anyway, so the question 7 in February. I'm going to change it. What happened in the Carabao Cup final of note?
Well, football.
Yeah, football. Obviously, the question is a lot more specific here, but I'm going to just. It was. What made the headlines?
Kepa Arrizabalaga refused to be substituted.
Yeah,
I tell you, I missed the penalty shootout in that. I'll tell you why, because I went on a date and it was horrendous the day.
Did she refuse to leave, or
no, she won't be listening, so I think I can say I won't mention any names. But she wasn't a very attractive girl, but she managed to sort of make photos appear that she was.
Filters.
Yeah. So when she arrived, we went to watch a Liam Neeson film.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was called. But
Taken 7.4.
It was basically the same kind of film was taken. His son had been killed, and then he just had to kill a load of people until he got to the big boss. But yeah, I think she was nervous to meet me, and she parked up and she left her handbrake off. So the car started rolling away as she was getting out of the car. I went, excuse me, your car's rolling away. Yeah.
So
that was the League Cup.
We'll keep this clip now ready for when you get married, and we'll just play it as.
We won't be getting married.
So those were the two things that I had a note that happened in February. Just looking if there's, there was. The other questions aren't really of anything. No, I can't think. Those were the two things that I'd written down. Yeah. I can't think. Is there anything else that jumps to mind, Tom, from February? I'm just clicking. I've got it on a website as well.
We were in the Six Nations, start of the Six Nations.
Start of the Six Nations.
Wales coming back from 16-0 down to beat France.
Yeah, so that was what I had for March, was Wales winning the Six Nations. There's nothing on this website. Messi comes up again because he scores his 50th hat-trick of his career. That on this website. There was nothing to the Daytona 500 happens then. Yeah, there's nothing. Oh, Roy Hodgson overtakes Sir Bobby Robson as the oldest man to manage a Premier League football club.
He's still going, isn't he?
And he's still at 71 years and 198 days and counting.
He's doing really well. Palace is doing really well this season, aren't they?
I think. It was the same. I think last year? I think someone else, overshadowed Wolves. Watford at the start, weren't they? They were. They were the team that where everyone was talking about, and Sheffield United are doing the same this season. I think they're going unnoticed, as similar to Wolves were. I think Wolves are now getting plaudits because they ended up finishing seventh. Watford after the FA Cup fiasco, which we'll obviously get to later on. They ended up finishing much lower down. But there was nothing of note in February. March, we've just mentioned.
Quarter final of the FA Cup, Wolves demolishing Manchester United.
That happened. And
moment of the year.
Wolves. Wales winning the sixth Grand Slam.
Yeah. How many Grand Slams have they won now under Gatland? Is it 3?
Off the top of my head.
Because they won one in 2005, but that was before Gatland arrived. They definitely won it in... I don't know if they won the Grand Slam, but they certainly won the Six Nations in 2012.
How many Grand Slams? Because I think they've won...
They've won it a couple of times, but they haven't
won I was going to say, I don't know off the top of my head how they've won as... I'm on my Wikipedia page now, and it's just going to be... It's not going to be...
Well, I would say...
Oh, no, here we are. Six Nation runners-up. well, that's no honours. Just win. He's won it four. He's won three Grand Slams: 2008, 12, and 19. And he's won.
Okay.
It's got 13 in brackets, which I'm not entirely.
Because I think they won it in 2013, but they didn't win the Grand Slam, didn't they?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because I think I can't remember.
Anyway,
that was when they beat. Did they beat England like 33? I think that was in 2013. Because I remember being at university. It was the last one we watched at university. Yeah. So Gatland has been an outstanding coach. Obviously, he's left now.
Yeah.
But I remember my dad saying about that Six Nations, just saying that rugby got so bad that Wales weren't the best team. They were just
I think everyone was, because the Rugby World Cup was later this year.
Yeah.
I think everyone was trialing things or trialing players ready for that. I think the Six Nations did take not to put it down on Wales' accomplishment, but it didn't. It wasn't as celebrated as normal it is.
Yeah.
You know, whereas everyone was, Ireland, England. They were all preparing for, and when you look at then the Rugby World Cup, the teams, went on. Wales went on to do well, England as well, and I think Ireland weren't as up to the standard that they used to. France did okay, but yeah,
it was the Six Nations was in my blind spot still because since moving back from Wales, I haven't watched any rugby until the World Cup. It was in my I just sort of was bored of watching it, and because I don't know, it just wasn't interesting at all. But then the World Cup did sort of get me.
Yeah, I think it did. It's a nice little warm up sort of thing, especially when it's coming up later on. Question here. This probably one's for you because I have no idea what the answer is. But who reached 1,000 career? Oh no, that'd be probably a snooker one, maybe. We'll go for a cricket one. It was centuries, so I was
Ronnie
like,
O'Sullivan.
Yeah, probably.
What was the question?
1,000 career centuries, so I was probably
Must
O'Sullivan.
be Ronnie. Good one.
But because I thought, maybe cricket centuries. But there's a cricket one lower down, so that's probably.
You'd be amazing if you scored 1,000 centuries because people don't play 1,000 games.
Whose 4 wickets helped England bowled West Indies out for 72 to clinch a T20 whitewash? I'm just going to say Anderson.
No, he didn't play 2020.
And that's the only cricket other than Stokes, or I'm just going to go for
Burnley
boy.
No, 2020. I don't know. I don't really follow the 2020.
That's a cricket question that Tom doesn't
know.
Ben Stokes.
No, it might be Stokes. I don't know.
Anyway,
it might be Adil Rashid. I'll go for Adil Rashid, the spinner.
Cool. All right, April. March, is there anything?
April's the FA Cup semi-final.
Yeah, I'm just looking on this website. No, nothing in March really of massive note. April, go on then, Tom. You can.
Well, Wolves are one of the last teams to get to play at Wembley in a cup competition.
Yeah.
So we had played in there against Spurs earlier that year, but I think there's only like 2 or 3 teams left who haven't played at the new Wembley. And they're like
in the whole of
Barnet in the whole of the Football League, because you think about it, most teams have, because now the semi-finals are at Wembley, there are loads of teams now who have done it, and there's games that never used to be played at Wembley, like the conference playoff final stuff. So like Forest Green have played at Wembley and stuff like that.
And obviously with Spurs playing there.
Well, I don't think it has counted that, because obviously every Premier League team has played at the new Wembley, but I don't think it counts that at all. But I really enjoyed lots of the day when we got to the semi-final, because prior to the semi-final, my dad had released this song, Buzzing Out the Word,
which reached worldwide #1 across.
It got played on national radio, which is a huge.
I mean, I heard it on national radio in Wales. So
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you actually?
I can't remember, but I remember listening to it.
It was on 5 Live anyway.
Probably. That's probably why.
I clipped up all the things anyway. They're all on YouTube. So all of that sort of stuff, and my dad was interviewed on the radio beforehand, and we were both interviewed outside the ground at Wembley on local radio. So it was all really exciting, and I remember feeling like being in heaven, because I was walking around outside the ground and bumping into people who I hadn't seen for like 10 years, who I used to play cricket with, who were Wolves fans, and and now you're obviously a celebrity and everyone knows who you are. Well, that wasn't that, but and like hearing silly stories of somebody we used to play cricket with, he was dying for the toilet, and obviously there's no toilet on Wembley Way, and all the pubs were rammed. So apparently there was a house just outside Wembley, or like a bar or something, and the bloke was charging people a 50p to have a pee in the bush.
Brilliant.
So that was really, well, it was all really
Memorable.
nice. Up until the last 10 seconds of the 90 minutes, it was going fine because we went into a 2-0 lead, Matt Doherty and Raul Jimenez, and when Jimenez gets the mask out and just stands behind the goal like that, you think, oh my God, we've peaked.
Yeah.
And we just let them back into the game, like just not closing down De La Feo to get the first goal back, and everybody in the Wolves end knew as soon as Watford did get a goal back that they would grow into the game, and momentum was with them. And then when it went to extra time, we'd taken off our key players, and we were dead on our feet, and we, sadly.
Yeah, I remember watching it. And
that's what spurred us on then to finish 7th in the league.
Yeah, and then you look at and then Watford since that semi-final have just gone on a downward spiral.
And what's really frustrating, because we say to everybody, oh, just imagine what it would have been like to be in the FA Cup final, but we've played Man City 3 times since that. Once in the Asia Trophy final, which we won.
Yeah.
Once at the Etihad, which we won.
Yeah.
And once at Molineux, which we won. So it just makes us all think that we would have won the FA Cup, which would have been the biggest achievement since 1960.
Yeah, you're probably right there, Tom. So yeah, going on to some of the questions. So one of the things I've got written down. So I followed the NBA when I was in school and keep an eye on it still. It was the end of the season is in April, and 2 of the players that I remember, Dwayne Wade and Dirk Nowitzki retired, and they were, footballers now. You could probably think of ones which you've seen through your whole career. They were 2 of the big names which I remember playing. Dwayne Wade played with Shaq, who Big Shaq, who him and Wade were at Miami when I started playing and followed them. So they retired. The other 2 things that I had written down appear in the quiz. So I'm going to ask you these. One, I'll be shocked if you can remember this, but name the horse that won the Grand National.
Oh, this year?
Yeah.
Red Rum.
Close. It was Tiger Roll.
Oh, okay.
And this, is a clue now for the next one. Which American rolled back the years to win the Masters?
Oh, Tiger Woods.
Tiger Woods, yeah. So it was a bit of a clue there. So yeah, Tiger Roll. That was, I just saw that he'd won the Grand National and that had happened in April. I don't really take much notice on the National.
I don't know if I put a bet on this year. I usually do.
Yeah.
But I usually just go for a horse that's got either Wolves colours or Trinity colours, blue and yellow.
Yeah.
But
I don't know if there was
or
anything,
if there's a name like Ruben or Nuno
something
or something
to
like
do
that.
with that. I don't know whether it was something 2-time winner. So I don't know whether he won back. Did he win it back? The horse won back to back. I don't think the jockey won back to back.
No, I said Red Rum as a joke.
Yeah.
But I think he was the first horse since Red Rum or something like that to win it twice.
So it's 2018, 2019, and apparently, just looking on Google, it could be set to compete in a record 3rd. So there you go, Tom.
Do you have any thoughts on horse racing? Because lots of people are.
Yeah, a lot of people are against it. I can understand where they're coming from because it is a brute. Because they are, if they break their leg, it's one of those things which that's it, they're done, and
can't keep still, can they?
It's. But then there's other, it's the same as, you could probably, there's a lot of things which are...
Boxing is one.
I was going to say, they're bred to do the things.
Yeah.
I wouldn't, there's obviously other illegal ones like cockfighting and dogfighting. But they're...
bull ring thing.
Yeah, the bull thing, which are banned and stuff like that. So maybe, or fox hunting. I don't know if that's classed as a sport, but...
They do look after the horses a lot, and I think they've made the jumps smaller and softer.
Yeah.
Like the ones with the
they're more. I think they're more hedged. They're more. There's more hedges now. I think because it'll cushion the blow and stuff. But yeah, I haven't got a particular view on it, but I can understand why people are frustrated about it.